this series, but let's find out if they can turn it around.
Let's see if they turn it up here as we go into game number 2, because this is a match that they should be competitive in, especially when you're looking at the standings. Or of course, there's always the thoughts of being in the bottom 2, which eventually does lead down the path of Crucible. Sky Temple will be our second battleground here. Monkeys with the pick, as Granit Gaming will have first choice here when it comes to heroes and bans.
First pick as they had on the last map, so Sky Temple. For the first time today, actually. And they played with Dehaka already, so we could see again that focus on some of the Dehaka play, but let's not forget that this is also another map where you can play Samuro. Granit Gaming have made the role swap, so it's not quite... I'm not quite sure how much we're going to see them head into Samuro given that, but if they feel that there is a good situation for the hero and they play again with Nanda on it, then of course they have to make the swap of Raid Boss going into that tank position again. It's something to keep on your mind if you are the Monkeys.
Yeah.
But then again, they themselves might have a strategy prepared here that is going to give them a victory.
And if for some reason Abler was to get through, which is not going to be happening with the Monkeys, or of course these 3 bans being available, you also have to worry about that Voliere combination that's been popular here on Sky Temple.
Yep.
But highly doubt that's actually going to get through the ban phase here, and if it does, it'll be interesting to see if that will actually unfold. Again, with it being Sky Temple, it's all about the control of the first couple of temples, being able to try and get that a level lead, get a couple of experience there. The Nightcaps in particular have become pretty meta lately on this battleground, trying to grab those as early as you can to get a little bit of a push going, especially in that top lane. If you can break through the turret walls and the gate, typically if you control the top temple the entire time, you can get a fort as well.
Yeah, that of course gives you the lane pressure then too. But talking about that pressure, I absolutely agree. If Abathar is not gonna be banned here, I'm gonna eat my hat.
Yeah, there's gonna be a plan.
Yeah.
You gonna eat your hat?
I'm gonna buy a hat and I'm gonna...
What kind of hat would you wear?
Yeah, I don't know. I look good in the hat.
I think you'd wear a sombrero. Really? Do you?
Yeah.
You don't seem like a hat person to me.
I look good in
Do you wear it backwards or forward? Or tilted to the side?
Not a cap. Not a base cap. I look like I look completely stupid.
Are we talking about like a fedora or like...
No, just like hat. I don't know.
What do you mean a hat? A hat is a cap. The one with the bill in the front?
No. That's a baseball cap.
What kind of hat do you wear? Now I'm so
Just
curious.
a hat, like a normal hat.
Like a fisherman hat or like a golf hat?
What are you talking?
You would wear a golf hat so well. A poker hat? The one with a little like green lip on the front?
That's a... You don't know what a hat is.
No, I don't apparently. I don't know what kind of hat you're talking about. I'm finding out.
Have you ever watched like a 60s or a 70s movie? Like a hat. A gentleman's hat.
Like Sherlock Holmes?
I'm not quite a baller. I'm not going Watson here.
Yeah. I can't imagine a hat. I'm just trying to picture it right now.
I have pictures of me in a hat.
Really?
Check my Facebook account, dude. Like, seriously.
I want to see you in a hat, dude.
I have a hat.
I can't wear hats. My head's too big, man. It feels weird.
I can't wear baseball caps and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I look beyond stupid in them. It's insane. It's actually insane.
You would look like someone full of themselves if you wore a baseball cap.
No,
honestly.
I look insanely dumb. You have no idea. You have really no clue. I tried a few times.
I'm excited for this.
I don't have to do it. They banned it. Look at it.
No Abathar.
No Abathar, no hat.
Dang, man.
I have an Abathar hat too.
If Abathar gets through one draft this weekend, will you wear a hat for us on stream?
No, he's definitely going to get one draft.
One draft? No, one. Just one. One little Abathar get through the bans. Caldor,
Could
do
you
it.
focus on the draft, please? There's serious business going on. Tim, be a little bit professional for once.
Yeah, you're right. That's on me.
I'm
sorry.
an Abathar hat too.
Zeratul, Hanzo, and Malfurion. Zeratul being a first pick for Granit Gaming. Really believing in this here.
Yeah, they definitely do. And I mean, Zeratul has already played a pretty big role in the last series. I mean, not to the extent that it was picked a lot, but when we've seen it, it was really just like Mena stepping it up really on the hero. And we saw it on the last map, for example, in Towers of Doom, having a huge impact. And Granit Gaming does the exact same thing. So Zeratul for the second time in the second draft. But I'm pretty excited for potentially even Jimmy coming out since Phoenix is being banned this time. Don't want to deal with a salvo in any of these attempts. But then again, Granit Gaming has still that Samuro. That's really the question. Do we maybe see... I don't think so, because we already have Zeratul being picked, so it's very likely that we're going to... I think there's no chance that Granit Gaming picks Zeratul and Samuro, especially with Raid Boss being on the Zeratul most likely. So if they would pick Samuro, it would be none on that, and they don't have a front line.
Yep.
Giddy up! But okay, forget it.
Giddy up, brother. Say it for me. You gotta drag out the ID.
in the game when there's no camera on me.
Just do it. Just do it, man. Who cares what people think about you?
You laughed. You already made fun of me the last time.
Leo and Joanna coming in here. Strong front line setup here for Granit Gaming. Pretty decent wave clear too to help match against a Haka. A little bit more damage here for Monkeys.
I'm wondering a little bit about the build that we're seeing from Arena, if that's going to be an adjustment compared to what Shrimpy and Mane pulled off in the last game. There's very little slows to really work around so far. Okay, there we go. Thrall coming in for that very frontline heavy. It's a little bit of an attempt that we've also seen from Fnatic, where they, on Infernal Shrines, were trying to play triple melee at the front and making sure that Reina had a lot of space to work with and couldn't really be targeted as easily. The cool part was that Zealots actually reacted with Jaina against it, and was nice damage against that front line, and they couldn't really punish him for it. In this setup, we don't quite see the same thing here, but I feel it comes down to how much Hanzo and Zeratul can do. But I honestly think it's going to be a lot tougher for Granit Gaming to get into that backline and take Reina down.
Yeah.
It was for Zealots against Fnatic when they ran a similar draft. I feel it's going to be really tricky with this.
There's CP in Entomb, so possible. And then, of course, you have that beeline arrow that we saw a lot from the Zealots. But I do feel like Granit Gaming's draft is a little bit more late game oriented for this map in particular.
Yeah.
Where we can have a really good start here for Monkeys. So if the Monkeys are able to find that temple, get a little bit of traction going, I can see them doing really well.
It's just that Zealots, when they played it, they had a lot of one-shot potential with Jaina and the damage that he pushed out, Planet Cracker and the games that they played where they had a stun. I don't feel that to the same extent for them, especially since I don't think Zeratul can do as much here until the late game, as you said. But we're gonna find out. Game number 2, we have the lead for Granit Gaming as we are heading in, and Crosby on the left side for the Monkeys. On Jimmy, we have Maka on Thrall, playing first of the frontliners, Alex, our Monkey King, on Dehaka. On the side lane, Rema Baller, of course, with that front line, playing the tank. He's on Garrosh, on Splendor, on Deckard Kane.
To the right, Granit Gaming. Dark Mach on Leoric, Memecraft on Hanzo, Nande on Johanna, Wolf Joe on Malfurion, and Raid Boss to play Zeratul.
Leoric not taking, there we go. Austin's renewal as level 1. Has by now been established as the #1 talent, consumed Vitality for a long time, has played a huge role in the meta. But after the mid-season brawl in particular, even before that, most of the European players started to shift a bit more towards the Korean build for Leoric. So that slight adjustment in the talent on level 1 before Neo Peasant comes online on level 7. That being said, on level 4 of course. That being said, we have Ace in the Hole again for Reina. So really playing around these slows that we see there. Very rarely do you see someone on this level going into the stacking talent for your trade. But then again, on level 4, there's a couple of adjustments, as we've seen from Shrimby earlier, going into the Behemoth armor, something that he really prioritized, even going over the extra armor on the Fight or Flight.
Dark Monk showing why that level 1 tank can be a good pickup if you're able to bully your opponent around the region globes. A little bit popping out consistently, and you'll get to a point where you're consistently healing as well. As he does a lot of damage on Alex Saproji, who tried to contest that region globe and then also missed out on it. Gonna be hurting there for a little bit, may have to use a Brush Stalker later on. And actually, we have a drag on the top as Leo takes some damage. A little fun 1v1 as Giants are now grabbed for both of our teams.
Yeah, the Haka has actually suffered in that bot lane matchup quite a bit. Darkmo was able to connect the Drain Hope. But also when it comes to the side lanes in general, just like the melee heroes, it's not only this matchup that's pretty interesting. This could actually result in the kill the way that these guys playing. Darkmok is in trouble right now, and so is Alex. Like, it comes down to the last hit here. Darkmok gets away for now. Alex still has a little bit, dodges on the drain, and now it's just basically a ring around the rosy that we have. But a nice mount up by Darkmok, and eventually he should be able to walk away from this one. Moves through, gets the drain in, and that was an important one. Alex has to dodge. This is a really nice 1v1 that we have here.
Alex with the burrow, able to back up, and he eventually decides to back away from the Bone Guy. As Darkmok finally gets that lane pushed in. Should be able to have a Brush Stalker to come back on that top lane and soak up the experience he has to use that. But that's actually a win. If you can force the Haka to use Brush Stalker in the early game, gives your team a little bit more wiggle room to open up on the map, be a little bit more aggressive.
Really good job here. Also, we have on level 1 for Maka nearly the completion of his Echo of Elements. He's sitting at 18 now. And we have Fight or Flight taken. So Adrenaline Rush cooldown gets reduced. and you get the extra armor. That's a talent that Mena took the first time that he played Reyna today, but ever since Shrimpy afterwards took over the responsibility of playing the auto attack damage dealer, we've seen the behemoth armor coming online for him trying to get the extra stacks going for extra hit points, and of course the initial boost of 250 HP that you get when you pick the talent.
Night Camp grabbed here at the top left, as mentioning earlier, trying to get that activated when the Temple comes in. Granit Gaming is the same though, so we'll have a bit of a battle between the two. Decent wave clear here for Granit Gaming, so they should be able to get a nice little advantage here in this top lane between Johanna and Zeratul. I don't know if they'll get much more on the turret though, as Monkey's already rotating over to clear that out.
Yeah, bot lane pressure with Thrall and Leoric still going toe-to-toe, but now that we have the two temples active, it seems that both of them are absolutely happy with just claiming one of them. At least that's what it looks like for now. But the extra pressure at the top lane against the Monkeys, simply because they are taking the top temple, they have most of their resources, most of their heroes there. And currently that means that they still have the remnants of the Night Camp, since they were able to clear out the camp of the Monkeys so much faster. So they are pushing in heavily against the structures. The Monkeys are trying to mirror that in the mid lane, and so far they're doing well, trying to take down that fort, and they should be successful with that. But it's a bit of a race that we're seeing between the two teams.
Yeah, and Granit Gaming is getting a big wave stacked up. They're continuing the push here. They start moving in for a keep wall. Temple do some damage here in the middle. And finally, Granit Gaming starts to back up. As I say that, they actually hit to the middle here as Leo scouts out. Garrosh rotating down to the bottom, and with Raynor and Decker Kane joining in, Monkey's just opening up the first layer of defense.
Yeah, and now the keep wall at the top being attacked, this is starting to become a massive issue. I don't know why the Monkeys are not reacting to this. It's actually mind-boggling at this point. They're trying to get the experience, but this is a huge problem.
And Leo's trying to keep both Raynor and Thrall here. Granit Gaming keeps pushing in. Garrosh is coming in for the wide flank, but it will be a 4v3 here.
Yeah, Remo starts to move in from the back, but that keeper's already taken damage. And again, we're on a map where it's highly important that you take down as many structures as you possibly can by simply taking them down manually and not relying on the objective. That makes the objective themselves so much more powerful. So this additional pressure up here at the top lane was fantastic for them.
That felt like a Monkey saying, I dare you. Go ahead. Keep pushing.
Yep.
And Granit Gaming is, okay, sure, we'll keep pushing. We like damage on and keep. We did have the wall cleared up on the bottom side, and there is a fort cleared up in the middle, so Monkeys did trade out a little bit for it in terms of infrastructure, and if they can control that bottom temple, they'll be able to get the fort down the bottom right. But keep damage, as you mentioned, is something that you never want to toy with on this battleground.
Now we have an adjustment in the build for Reyna, and we've been talking about Jimmy quite a bit, but now we have Fuel the Rush. So first of all, the adjustment on level 4 with a Fight or Flight, and then Fuel the Rush. So every single time you use Inspire, you get an increased cooldown reduction from your basic attacks. It's actually really powerful if you want to keep that talent alive, and if sustainability is what you're looking for, it's really strong. The problem, of course, is that with you not speccing into your trade on level 7, you're missing out on the opportunity of supplying yourself with that slow that procs your ace in the hole on level 1 and increase that slow. So from a damage output perspective, it would have been the much smarter choice to go into that instead of using Fuel the Rush here. But Fuel the Rush is keeping you more alive during these fights, so you have a bit more sustainability from yourself. On the pro level, I would say this is probably something we're going to see not as much, since normally your healer has that job and you are just there to dish out as much damage as you can.
Granit Gaming trying to force a fight with level 10 right before 10 hits for the Monkeys. Johanna moves in, puts a little bit of aggression. Here's a Blessed Shield. They focus down Thrall. Here comes the Entomb. Drain Hope afterwards, and boom. Thrall has been taken out, but Hyperion is used to answer back as Monkeys go for their own engage. Yeah,
and already Raid Boss is low, and he's not the only one. The kill against Hanzo is immediately secured here by the Haka. That was a great Hyperion that we just saw from Reyna, and the fight is not over yet. Wolfjo still in the back, keeping everyone alive and looking for the opportunity to maybe lock someone down again. The throw against Darkmook, and even with the Wraith Walk, he might not be able to get away here. He goes down as the Monkeys secure kill number 2.
Zeratul trying to do his best here, but with no range damage available for Granit Gaming, they're having a hard time trading while Raynor just continues to spread the pepper to everybody. Raid Boss tosses the corner there. Upheaval does not actually connect there to knock him up, so Raid Boss is able to teleport away. Drag comes out afterwards. Johanna takes some damage, but with the Iron Skin is able to finally escape. But Monkeys definitely take this win here as they're able to start grabbing the temple.
Yeah, I'm actually impressed that they didn't lose more. This looked really as if they could maybe secure a 4th and even a 5th kill here. As we're saying that, though, we have another potential engage as Darkmoke is back to business, and we also have Zeratul in the fight, so it's once more that 5 versus 5, and the shots are taken over by Granit Gaming now as they are looking for an opportunity. Nande again attacked, arrow comes out, and the counter pressure against Splendor. Blessed Shield is there, and Dehaka nearly falling, but the counter engager Straw drops the Sundering.
Thunder to keep him alive, Nande trying to stay up, Nature's Cure comes out, but the immediate time afterwards, Raid Boss goes in, gets a decent cleave, but Monkeys win another engage as Johanna falls, another temple is finally claimed by the Monkeys.
The damage output of Zeratul is already something that is a bit worrisome if you look over at how much he pushes out during those team fights, especially since everyone tends to clump up on the Monkey's side. Once that he has a 16, that could be a massive problem for the Monkeys if it comes to these 5 versus 5 battles. But at this point, they're looking pretty good with 3 kills against 1. They've taken over the lead in experience now too, and of course they are really working on these structures. If Thrall moves in, I mean, he doesn't even have to. The minions alone should be able to take down the fort here.
Raid Boss is gonna try and maybe stop that here. Nope, not in time. There it is. Big jump in experience, 12.5 to just now 12 for Granite Gaming, as they continue to work on getting their own level 13. As you mentioned, 4 levels away from that 16 for Zeratul, but Leoric starts to hit his 13 power spikes. And as we get to the late game, Granite Gaming will start to get stronger. Level 20 Birdie alive. Zeratul, of course, level 20 with the 16 combined. Furion as well, and then of course you have Hanzo who will be jumping around like crazy and having Pierce at 16.
It's definitely already a better game for the Monkeys, there's no doubt about that. They have 3 kills against 1, so they've put their name onto the scoreboard. The Sundering that we're seeing for Thrall is still a little bit, I don't want to say weird, but it's normally when you're going into Ace in the Hole on Reyna, you're really looking to get additional slows from some other source. You don't have to overvalue that and think that you need to have slows on every single one of your heroes and have the massive amount of synergy, but it's still really powerful if you have an Earthquake available so that Reyna can get that damage out, or if you have some other sources. Now, they have a few tools that they can definitely use with the stunts that they have available, but I would have expected them to go into Earthquake here. But the way that we are seeing these engagements happen, Sundering actually gives them a lot of value, so it's an interesting choice, not quite what I expected when I saw the draft, but it's working out so far.
It kept Decker King alive in the last team fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Really low, a couple of auto attacks and it finished off. Granite Gaming making a play here for this top push in Alex Poji doing his best here to make sure that's defended, and with Walk over to help, Darkmoke should consider backing up. Timble's activated about 15 seconds. We have 13 for both of our teams. And Granite Gaming is attempting to group up here in the middle lane as they would love to clear out this first wall, take out that well as well.
The top keep is so low on the Monkey side. I think if they lose a team fight, Granite Gaming is easily going to move top and take the keep down, and then the catapult pressure starts up. For now, of course, those temples are going to prioritize the forts that are still on the map. But the fight's going on, and a massive arrow comes out, and down goes Jimmy. He's gone. No Hyperion, no nothing. An insta-kill against him, and Granite Gaming now with absolute perfect temple control.
Very similar fight to what we saw, but the opposite side this time when we had the temple on the bottom. The damage range being taken out makes it hard for Monkeys to go for a full engage, so they immediately back up as to where Granite Gaming kept trying to fight. Monkeys playing a little bit disciplined here, making sure not to get caught out too much. Top temple, the middle one, will take some damage as it puts out the fort here in the middle and the fort in the bottom. And with a second temple available, Granite Gaming is positioning to make sure that they keep it away from the Monkeys.
Nice Iron Skin to make sure that Rema doesn't get an opportunity to throw Nande in, so he moves out of this one. Temples are taken now, of course. Sky Temples shooting down to the bot lane. Fountain gone, and that is another objective here for Granite that they can now claim. If they get both, it will be fantastic. But at this point, they're still a little bit hesitant to really commit to it. We have Leoric starting to make the move to the top since there's a massive wave assembling, so they want the experience. But it also means that they give Alex an opportunity on Dehaka to move down to the bot lane and turn it into a 5 versus 4.
Granite aware of this. Just runs in the middle. They don't want to give that spot for Dehaka to come in and get that tongue. Zeratul soaking the middle, experience in the middle too as he hits level 15 and a quarter. Keeping up with the constant pressure. See if anyone pulls back to defend that. If they don't, that'll be some keep walls that are taking damage. Granite Gaming, meanwhile, takes off every single fort of the field of Granite Gaming, and they start to siege on the temples of the keep on the bottom. Next temples. We'll start be playing for those keeps.
I have to say that I expected Granite Gaming to be a bit more aggressive around the bottom temple after they got the initial kill, to at least soak some of the shots here. Because now, if you look at the map, it's actually really even. Monkeys are more or less ahead when it comes to structures. Their problem is that their keep is already that low. That's the biggest issue.
I think I agree with you. I would actually prefer for them to try and get a little bit aggressive on the bottom. And if Dahaka burrows in, say, Leo, go get that keep in the top right corner. They had to wait for him to push in, clear that out. You have Neil Peasants.
Yeah, you can also make the play just simply, before he's even back.
Yeah.
And get some of the shots at least. Because again, they are technically behind in structures because there's still that fort for the Monkey Menagerie at the bot lane. It's just the keep at the top lane for the Monkeys that's under so much pressure that there's always the threat that Granit Gaming is moving in to simply take it. So that will worry me a little bit. In experience, it's the same. 16 versus 16, you have 3 kills against 2. It's all about the boss play at this point. It's definitely an interesting spot that we're in right now, considering how well it started for Granit.
Leo going to try keeping that pressure up to the top with the Night Camp. We'll see if Dahaka can handle that.
And we have Giddy up again on 13. That seems to be the standard talent just now, but give me more once again on 16. So trying to just get the additional healing here as well from the adrenaline rush. I mean, of course, that makes a lot of sense if you're already taking a level 4 and the level 7. You're really just trying to keep yourself alive here. The weird part to me is, like, if you see an attack against Rain, it's the attempt to blow him up instantly. And then a lot of the talents that we're seeing for Crosby just don't give you value. It's more about having a long, sustainable fight that you're thinking about right now. You get some extra range from your level 16 talent as well. That helps you to stay a bit closer, but it's still tricky. Crosby here also going down now, so even with those talents, it just didn't help him. He needs more effective hit points in the moment to stay alive and not to sustain himself through a long team fight. That's at least what it feels like. Sundering coming out, but that kill, the second one against Alex, could still be secured here, and indeed it is as Hanzo takes him down.
Darkmon gets picked too with a taunt and throw, but he should be back pretty soon here. He can also keep an eye
Top keep
on where the Monkeys are at. The top keep is under siege, as you mentioned, and Granit Gaming can flirt with the idea of going straight for the boss. In fact, I'm actually a little interested why they're not going for it quite yet. They're going to go for the temple instead to the south and clear up those shots, but with Scatter Arrow build Hanzo and full knowledge of where your opponents are at, I feel like that boss and a temple would have been nice for them.
I'm also not a fan of them going for the bottom temple. If you want the temple, why don't you go to the top lane?
Yeah, so the keep.
That will take the keep down. So the only reason why you would go to the bottom of the map is because you want to make the boss play. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. So at this point, I like it more. But if they would have just gone for the temple, as initially they did, I think they would have been the wrong call there. Because top temple would take the fort down at the bot lane and then focus on the top lane shortly afterwards.
Starts to grab the temple. Should be pushing this boss too. Leo's putting out that back wave of minions to make sure that they can all group up together and attempt to break down this wall with the help of the boss. Setting up for the defense. Garrosh will finish off the rest of the shops at this top lane. Now, they do have to watch out for Dahaka. There is that bush in that bottom left corner. But with solid control from Malfurion and Sonic Arrows, they should be okay with the flank. Yeah,
right now, Granit Gaming, they need to do some work with this. And again, we're coming back to Crosby. How much damage can he push out with Reyna? Currently sitting at 24,000. Basically the exact amount of damage that Hanzo has put out. So Memecraft on the other side is doing fairly well to keep up with Jimmy. And this keep might actually... Nah, it's gonna... It's not even close at this point. They realize that they can't make it, so they move away from that. So one keep down. Top lane has to be dealt with, though. Then since Granit knows that there's a camp pushing towards it, so Leoric is the one that heads back and is going to take over the duty. But yeah, one keep down in the game and another one severely damaged at the top. An attempt by Alex to go into that backline here, and he does get the isolation off. The problem is that Wolfjoy is still walking away from it. The question is, can Nanda do the same thing here?
He's trying to. Sundering comes out, and with the help of a Void Prison, able to get away. The Hyperion a little bit too early, too. As Monkeys try to force the issue before level 20 connects and just cannot get the kills. Granit Gaming able to back away. Big Dragon Arrow to make sure Malfurion stayed alive, and then, of course, the VP to make sure that Nanda can stay up.
Sundering also coming out there. I mean, they pulled all the stops to try and secure that kill, but they don't get it. And now Granit Gaming is about to hit level 20. 4 kills against 4, same kill count, but that level lead that we have for Granit Gaming is giving them super early storm talents, and that makes them really powerful. And they should go for that keep at the top lane now. I mean, this is the perfect spot. You are a storm talent ahead, and you can push your own way through. There's just nothing that the Monkeys can do here, really. You just keep poking, stay at a safe distance, and through the storm talents, you're just strong enough to take that keep, or at least you should be able to. And then you have 2 catapult lanes pushing against your opponent.
Yeah, that's waiting for them anyways right now, poking where they can. Dahaka actually came in from the side. Raid Boss is in full stealth mode, though. A little bit of damage. There we go. The blind comes out. Busted shield 2. Raid Boss trying to lock him down. There's a Dragon Arrow afterwards. Burrow to come out and to keep Alex alive, while Tranquility has to be used for Wolfjoy to keep up his teammates.
A lot of resources to take Alex down, though, and he survives. But Crosby on Jimmy is falling once more. Now the damage is gone. 20 is closing in for the Monkey Menagerie, but they're still half a level behind. And that should be enough time for Granit Gaming to push through here as the minion wave approaches to take that second keep. And then all you got to do is move back to take that next temple. They still will have a window of opportunity where we see Reina being down. And with the damage gone, what can the Monkeys do here? Even if they get the Storm Talons, that is a pretty big problem. It's half a minute.
Well, looks like they'll have this keep, push out catapults, and wait for Rainer to come up, and then attempt to go for a Hail Mary play. Because they are definitely very behind. It's a situation that you do not want to be on Sky Temple. Rimmer goes for a toss. Unable to get anything. In fact, he gets punished pretty hard there.
Yeah, Reina's still not there. They got a few shots of the temple, but they're actually trying to follow that. Stay a while and listen. Splendor goes in. Alex, oh, a Blessed Shield actually missing. As Johanna is not connecting the heroic. Make is now again completing his Thunderstorm, gets the extra slow through and the extra damage. But they're moving back onto the temple, just as Reina respawns. And the 20s are there for them now, so if they can force the fight, the Monkeys have a chance of taking it.
Yeah, some time was bought with that fight. Dahaka gets locked down, buried alive, can't even burrow. Ooh, but Rimmer comes inside and gets the toss into the fray, save, and Big Taunt comes out, and Monkeys are trying to go for a team fight.
The big boy taunt here, but the Void Prison also has the counter. The Hyperion is still active. Raid Boss goes in, and he gets the damage, but the isolation is there, and that might be the play here. Zeratul takes down Garrosh, though, and they kill Thrall. The two orcs are both dead, as the Alliance is about to be victorious here. Splendor still on the run. The Haka also falling, and Granit Gaming is just absolutely destroying the Monkeys. 4 down, only 1 alive. And Reina is just on the way to B-step back to the core. But Granit Gaming, they want the game now.
Raid Boss with the big VP. Monkeys almost had a moment where Rimmer set up the kills for his teammates, but because the VP came in as an interaction to stop that entire thing from transpiring, Granit Gaming was able to turn around the fight. And with catapult pressure to boot in the top lane and the bottom lane, they can turn their attention towards getting a victory. And against the Monkeys, as their core continue to fall, Granit Gaming is going to go up 2-0 in this best-of-5 series.
GG, and well played, looking strong there. And I have to say, I'm not really sold on the Reina build still.
Yeah.
I think if you're playing Hero League and you can't rely on your healer a lot, then the build might make sense if there's also not as much coordinated play against you to one-shot you. And the fights are, you know, longer, drawn out, a little bit more chaotic and not as well coordinated, then I think I enjoy the build. But when it comes to the damage output, he severely suffered when it came to that, as you can see here too. 39,000 from Crosby compared to the 48k that we see from Hanzo from Memecraft. If you compare that a bit to what we've seen in the Zealot Fnatic series earlier, Reina really just stood out, even in the losing games, as one of the main damage dealers. And so I think if you just try to survive the burst, you probably have more of a chance there. And especially through your level 7 slow, you get more of an opportunity to dish that damage out. Then again, I don't think it's only that. I really feel that when we looked at Fnatic's drafts, they were always trying to